The Gift of Time began as a book called Death of a Man, written by Lael Wertenbaker, who was the widow of Charles Wertenbaker, head of Time magazine in Europe. And it was called to my attention by my sister. My sister Ruth is a very bright literary type, and she read this book, and she called it to my attention and said she thought it would make a play. And I read it a few times, but I couldn't quite see how it could be made into a play. But she kept urging me to think about it more, and I talked it over with Ruth and eventually began to get a feeling of a pattern that it might take. And to help me achieve the end, we went to France, and I went to Cibourg, which was where it all took place. And we stayed there for about a month. And I just went down into that town every day and went to the house where it all took place and absorbed the atmosphere and talked to his children. And then, of course, I got to know Lael very well. And then I began to write the play. And by the time it was finished, I was caught up in it, and I responded to it on every level, intellectual and spiritual and emotional. And then the first actor I sent it to was Henry Fonda, and he responded in 24 hours and said yes, he wanted very much to do it. And then I sent it to Olivia de Havilland to play the wife, and she accepted. So we were underway. And we put it on, tried it out of town, and it went very well. It was not as big a commercial success as I had hoped, because I believe it was a little bit ahead of its time, just a little. The whole idea of discussing a man dying of cancer as a theatrical venture was just a little avant-garde for that time. So it was very, very well reviewed, very respectfully reviewed, but it didn't have the commercial success that I had hoped it would have. Which is why I think these days I'm thinking maybe of converting it into a film now and doing it as a film. I think if we got the right people, it would be extremely effective and valuable, a valuable project to undertake.